Hi, friends. You may have noticed I am coming to you from a totally different location. I am in my car right now. My daughter is playing in a big softball tournament. We've been on the road, and I just didn't know when I was going to be able to film a video this week. And I thought, well, maybe we'll just skip. I just won't worry about doing a video. And I thought, no, it doesn't have to be perfect with perfect lighting. It's okay to take imperfect action or do things imperfectly perfect. So here we are. And that's actually what I want to talk to you today, all about this way of thinking that I have coached so many women through, and it's called all or nothing thinking. This is something that I have struggled with for most of my life, and I've had to do a lot of work around it. And so I want to share it with you because once you can figure this out, it helps in so many areas of your life and helps you if you're feeling stuck or like you're not making progress in your goals. You might want to check the way you're thinking and see if it's something like this. So all or nothing thinking is when you believe that there is only two options available to you. I want you to imagine that there's a spectrum, a line right here. And on one end of the spectrum, you have one way of thinking. And on the other end of the spectrum is a completely opposite way of thinking. And that's what all or nothing thinking is. It's usually that you only have these two options available and that there's nothing in between. As I've worked with hundreds of women through the Mommy Tummy Fix program, I have seen so many ladies purchase the program, and they're so excited when they start out because they just, it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. And they come in with that all or nothing mentality. They think, I have to do it perfectly or I'm not going to do it at all. And so because of the way the program is set up, there is these daily check marks that you can get. The program has these choices that if you can kind of make them every day and check them off your checklist, that you're going to see progress and you're going to see it a lot faster. And so some of these ladies will come in and just be like, I've got to get every check mark and I've got to do it perfectly. And if I do, then I will see the success that I want. And so they are gung-ho. They are all in from the beginning. But then real life happens after a couple of days, or maybe if they're lucky, 2 or 3 weeks. And then they have a day where things just get thrown off and they're not able to get all of their check marks. And what is so fascinating is that after they experience that, they either quietly quit or they just give up or they drop out. They throw in the towel because it wasn't going perfectly. And because it's not going perfectly, the only other option is then it's not going to work, or I'm going to fail. Isn't it fascinating how those are the only two options they see? That perfect success, getting perfect check marks every day, or not at all. It's not going to work. It's not going to work for me. Did you know that the average American woman starts 4 to 5 new programs or new diet plans or new workouts every single year? That means almost every quarter, no more than every quarter, you're starting something new. And chances are with each program and each plan that you did, you were gung-ho at it for a little bit at the beginning. You were all in, you went hardcore, and then something happened. Something happened that kept you from continuing to move forward, continuing to make progress. And that could be life. Your kid got sick, or you got sick, or your job took up more time, or, those things that happen that we can't really control. Or it could be, this felt hard. This required too much. I'm just not feeling it. Whatever the reason is, there was a reason why you didn't stick with it and see it through. I know for me, I have a personal example of how this happened in my life. There is a diet plan out there called Whole30. And I thought that it sounded great. It only lasts for 30 days. You cut out all this processed food and kind of figure out what is best for your body. Sounds like a really great idea. However, it's pretty strict in what you can and can't eat. And so I did day 1, I went and bought all the foods that I would need. I made all the sauces that I would need to make. And day 2 came around. I thought, okay, I can do this. Day 2, made it through day 2. By day 2.5, so lunchtime on day 3, I just wanted bread and I just wanted some ketchup with my French fries. And I got to lunchtime on day 3 and thought, I'm done. This is too hard. I just want bread. I just want ketchup. And so I gave up. I made it to whole 2.5. That was the diet plan that I did. Isn't it funny that my mind went to, well, I failed, so I'm out, instead of thinking that maybe there's somewhere in the middle. Because I wasn't doing it perfectly, I saw myself as a failure, and there was nothing for me in the middle. There's nothing like, okay, maybe during this lunch, I will have some bread, I will make a sandwich, or I will have French fries with ketchup. And then from dinner time on, I'll jump back on the bandwagon. I'll find ways to, make Whole30 work for me. But instead, my brain just went to this all or nothing way of thinking. I failed. I can't do this. this. So I'm done. It's really fascinating when you look at it. There's probably a lot of reasons why I didn't look for some middle ground, why I didn't try to talk myself through it, or why is it that I just gave up and gave in to quitting. Chances are it's probably some type of all or nothing thinking. So many times I have those thoughts. Well, since I failed, I'll never succeed. Since I can't do this, since this is hard, I might as well give up and maybe not even try because I can't do it. I can't do it perfectly. So I'm a failure. I feel like so many times in our lives, we can't see that space in between. We just see the far ends of the spectrum, those two choices, that all or nothing thinking. And I see it in myself all the time in my life, but then I also see it in the lives of the women that I work with. It's really hard to see that space in the middle sometimes, that space that leaves room for those not so perfect days or not so perfect weeks or months or years sometimes. But it's in that space where we can try again, where we can take one step forward. And so I want to invite you to this space in the middle, this space in between all or nothing, the space in between success and failure. It's kind of gray here in the middle. It's not that black and white thinking, but it's the space where we lean into progress. We lean into taking that next step. We lean into keep trying or try again, but don't give up on yourself. You're going to hear me say that a lot on this channel, or whether you're watching on YouTube or listening onto the podcast, but it's about progress. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's not about perfection. It's about just that next right step and what that is for you. I love helping women understand that life isn't supposed to be done perfectly. Life is supposed to be messy. We are supposed to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. They're not even mistakes. They're just educational experiences. And it's all about learning lessons from each one, getting messy along the way. It's not about getting every single check mark every single day or trying to live to some unrealistic expectation. We're going to have days where things just don't go perfectly. And even if things don't go perfectly, that's okay. It doesn't mean we throw in the towel. It doesn't mean we give up. It means we find somewhere, that space in the middle between success and failure. Well, where could I be today? My whole life, I have struggled with perfectionism. Even as a young girl, just figured if I can't do it perfectly, then I probably shouldn't do it at all. So I've done a lot of work on myself in this area. This has been such a good learning experience for me. It has been messy. It has been hard. I have made some silly, weird mistakes, and I'm still trying to figure out what's the best way for me to do this. What's the best way for me to start this YouTube channel? And I have had some times where I thought, why am I doing this? Why? There's so many more people out there who are more qualified or who are better speakers or who know how to do this or who don't have to film in their car while they're driving their kids around to all their things. But then I remember why I'm doing this. Because if there is some mama out there who is struggling like I was a couple years ago, and if there's something that I can say or do that helps that mom, then I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep showing up perfectly imperfect, messy, crazy. And some people will probably say, oh, you're not for me. And that's okay, because I'm for somebody. There's somebody out there who needs to hear this. And so I've had to work really hard getting rid of that all or nothing thinking, that perfect success or utter failure way of thinking. And that's why I am filming this episode from my car today, because it's a little bit messy, but it's somewhere in the middle of success and failure. It's just that perfect mix of gray. I've come to learn that there is freedom in being able to use the word and instead of the word or. So like that all or nothing type of thinking, success or failure. And so some of the ways that I'll apply it to my life, instead of telling myself I'm either a perfect podcaster or I'm a podcast failure, I tell myself I'm learning and working on becoming a better podcaster, and I'm making mistakes along the way that teach me a lot of lessons. Or a lot of times women will say, I either have to eat healthy all the time or I don't eat healthy at all. And so I'll help them tell themselves, maybe something you could say is, I eat healthy and I love a bowl of ice cream. Or I'm a patient mom and sometimes I lose my patience with my kids. Or I'm a really good wife and sometimes I struggle to be a good wife too, but I'm trying. It's that messy place in the middle, the That's where learning and growth and progress come from, is that mess in the middle. So no more all or nothing thinking, no more perfection or failure. We are getting rid of the word or, and we are embracing using the word and. We're embracing being somewhere in the middle, because living in the space between the all and the nothing is a pretty good place to be. I hope you can start to see times in your life where maybe you're falling into this old all or nothing way of thinking. And I want to challenge you to replace that word or with an and. Give yourself some space in the middle. Give yourself some grace to figure it out. Just keep trying. That's what this life is all about. We just keep trying. If you want some help working on this, or if you want some help learning how to reprogram your thoughts and maybe look at things a little bit differently, I would love to help you. Just head over to mtfchallenge.com. You can sign up for our small group coaching and join that community of women who are just doing amazing things. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you next week. And I promise I won't be in my car. See you later.